Hey packaging enthusiast, are you sitting there wondering how you can get better shelf life for your product the natural way? Let's talk about packaging because packaging can help you to get better shelf life without the need of extra added chemicals. There are three core ways that packaging can help you to elongate your shelf life. And the first way is that it's going to protect you from oxygen exposure. Bacteria need oxygen to eat the sugars or to multiply on your product, and so if it's a food product, you would want to eliminate the amount of oxygen exposure, new oxygen that's coming in. So airtight seals and packaging that can really keep the air out is the first line of defense. And the second line of defense is protection from either permeability of light or other outside scents, because believe it or not, light is so powerful and actually can corrode the delicate flavor profiles of your scented products and corrupt oils. So you can see olive oils or vinegars or wine bottles are often dark because they don't want exposure to the light, which would actually corrode and corrupt the product. So, and another way with scents, non-permeability of packaging, a great example is like with coffee, which is always exuding odors. You don't want the products that are next to it to pick up those odors, or coffee to pick up the things that it's sitting next to. So the non-permeability and the single wave valve of most coffee bags is actually there to protect your product from picking up other scents as well as protecting it from the light. So that is one way that packaging can help preserve the long shelf life of your product naturally. And then the third way is that it creates certain barriers that allow us to use cool technologies that actually don't involve chemicals to protect your product. Two examples of these types of natural shelf stable elongating processes that need good packaging is number one, HPP. And HPP is the process of taking a product that's inside strong packaging and putting it in water and actually mimicking the pressure of being under, like in the ocean, very, very, very deep. So there's tons of pressure being put onto that product, and it actually kills the bacteria that's inside of the product and allows the product to have really, really, really good shelf life, like 30 days. So if you're ever shopping in Costco and you see like potato salad that lasts forever, you're like, how do they do that? They usually have taken it through an HPP process, and that requires super rigid packaging for one, because of the amount of pressure it can't break. So you'd also see that with a lot of juice bottles that are super, super rigid and hard. It also requires that things be on a flat surface and there not be too much oxygen inside of the product for that type of thing to actually work. So you can also see that when you pick up the deli meat in the deli corner, like that's very super flexible, so that also can handle HPP, but there's no air inside of those little pouches. And so HPP is a great option for smooth things without any oxygen that have very flexible or rigid packaging that can handle the pressure. Another example of a style of shelf-stable elongating science that we can use because of the packaging that we have is hot filling. I had to blank there. Hot filling. When you are drinking a soda can, for example, of like iced tea, when you heat up the product before it's filled in to a certain point that it will kill bacteria inside of the product and inside the packaging, that makes your product safe. But obviously you need to be sure that the packaging can withstand super, super hot temperatures. So once you fill that product with the hot elements that are going inside that people would want to eventually eat, you have to close that quickly and then rush it through a cold process to cool down the product very, very quickly, because anything that is too long being heated, it's going to lose its flavor profile and lose its textures. So this packaging that allows us to do hot fill must not only withstand super, super hot temperatures, but also super, super cold temperatures. And so that's not many different things. Obviously some glasses can handle it and so can tin, but besides that, there's a lot of limitations with the hot filling process, even though it's very effective and usually less expensive than HPP. So those are three great examples of how packaging can help you get all natural, longer shelf life. And I can think of a fourth one as I'm talking, and it's a desiccant. Adding something like a little tiny, when you buy vitamins, there's little tiny bags of things that take the moisture out of your packaging. That's another thing I just thought of on the fly that also helps, and it's a piece of packaging that doesn't add chemicals to your actual product. So Packaging's powerful. It helps you to provide safe products to people, and so I hope that empowered you with new vocabulary to be able to talk to your contract manufacturer or packaging provider so that you get better shelf life and you're better able to serve your customers and sell them great things.